Good evening, ma'am.
Hi, very good evening.
Very good evening. And we are so happy to have you, and we welcome you. Okay, this is our special session, Officers Corner. Okay, so as you all know, who we have, Sonal Goyal IAS. Okay, before we start the session, I'm gonna just briefly explain. Tell about her. Okay, so Sonal Goyal, IAS is an IAS officer from 2008 batch. She secured an All India rank 13. She joined the Tripura cadre and served in various important roles. And currently, she is posted as Resident Commissioner at Tripura Bhavan, Delhi. Okay, and the most exciting thing is she was named in the top 25 women transforming India by Niti Aayog, United Nations, and my government in September 2016. And she's also given a title Web Wonder Women. So today she's here. She will inspire us by sharing all her life experiences and as an IAS officer, most importantly, as a female IAS officer. Ma'am, once again, a warm welcome to you to our session.
Thank you so much, and good evening to all young aspirants, young students, and good evening to the Lead IAS Academy team. Thank you for
Yes, ma'am.
inviting me in this very important session.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We will start by asking you a few questions that we have for you. Okay?
Yeah.
Yes. Here, ma'am. How do you describe your day of your life as an IAS officer?
For young friends, I would just like to briefly tell about me. Friends, I belong before answering to this question, so that they can relate more, because I can see there are students who might be in school. I can see the
Yes.
participants are very young, so I would begin by saying that it was in my third year of graduation when I read about civil services, and I actually thought about preparing for civil services. But how I came into it and what factors led me join civil services, that I will delve upon in my further course of interaction. So I belong to the 2008 batch of the IAS, and my basic qualification was graduation in commerce from Shriram College of Commerce, Delhi University, and I was also professionally qualified as company secretary and LLB, CS LLB. So, friends, when I entered into service, after that it has been almost now 14 years. And in 14 years, I have served in Tripura and I have served in Haryana. So I served in Tripura for almost 7.5 years. Then I came to Haryana on intercadre deputation. And in Haryana, I served for 4 years. Almost all profiles have been in field only. And right now, I'm posted in Delhi as resident commissioner of Tripura Hubs. When you are asking me about the daily life of an IAS officer, so it actually varies to an extent depending upon the profile which you are holding. So, for example, we all are aware of, I am sure, that the civil servants work round the clock. You must have heard that civil servants don't get any holiday and they have to work round the clock. Round the clock means 24 by 7. And more so when you are in field, when initially when you join the service, whether it is IAS, IPS or any other service, the work pressure is even more in the kind of urgency and emergent situations which may need to be tackled by you as an officer who is posted in field. So typically, if in general we see the officer's life routine starts very early in the morning, then one goes to the office. In office, one may go to attend meeting, one may have field visits, and then of course your regular meeting of people, listening to their grievances, to the taking their feedback, and then of course evening or late evenings coming back to your work, to your home, and then spending some time with your children, family. So for me, if I describe right now, my schedule is that I generally wake up in the morning around 6 o'clock. After freshening up, Actually, I have two kids. So my daughter is in class 5 and son is in nursery. So they also have their school timing. So my daughter leaves around 7 o'clock for her bus, and my son goes around 8 o'clock. So in the morning time, between 7 to 8, I try to manage time for my physical activity, for my exercise, workout. And then after 8, when my son he leaves for his school, then I start getting ready for my office. Generally by 9:30, I leave for my office. Our office timing start at 10 o'clock. Then I reach my office, have my office meetings, work done. I generally come by around 7 o'clock. But when I was in field, so when I was deputy commissioner, when I was commissioner, these timings were even later. And even in this profile, when we have some things like VIP visits, VVIP visits, some protocol duties, or some other meetings, then of course this schedule changes. So in the evening, I come back. Then we have some time with family, with kids, and then dinner, and then I devote around 1 hour or so for my reading, or for maybe scheduling the next day's routine, planning what needs to be done tomorrow or day after. So like that, and then I generally sleep by 11:30. So friends, it is not only important to have a kind of a fixed schedule, because that will inculcate the spirit of discipline in you. It is also important to have a balance. It is very important as a student, because now my kids are going to school. So I understand that nowadays students have lot of pressure. They have their routine classes, and they take some coaching also. Not everybody takes, but some of them take. Then they have physical activities, sports classes they have to attend. Then they have to play with their friends, do the home assignments, submit the homeworks and all. And of course, play some games, watch TV, do work on iPad, laptop. So it is very important for us as students only to have this feeling of discipline, and keep motivating ourselves and inculcate this culture when we are in school itself. It is very important. And also not to skip your meals. It is also very important that we should not be skipping or avoiding food, or not taking proper food, proper nutrition. So I think that is very important. And I mean, my schedule is like this, but yes, it keeps on changing. Sometimes it may go even up to late night. Sometimes meetings are there, visits of CM, governor. So it all depends actually. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. That was quite a lot of the, heavy schedule, I can say. Okay, next question, ma'am. What inspired you to become an IAS officer?
Yes. So actually, just to begin with, I belong to a place called Panipat in Haryana, and when I was in my third year of graduation, I was doing BCom honors, and I was also doing the professional course of company secretaries along with my graduation. So it was way back in 2003. I was in third year of graduation when I read about civil services in one of the magazines. So till that point, friends, I had no idea. I had no inclination towards civil services. We were a business class family, middle class family, based in Haryana and Delhi NCR. So nobody had ever thought of coming into civil services. So I was totally clueless. But then when I found out, and I felt that it gave me a kick that I should join civil services, and this will give me a platform to serve the nation and society. I felt it like this. I felt so much motivated to just have that notion that it will give me an opportunity to do something for the nation. But when I discussed this with my parents, especially my father, there were a lot of apprehensions. So the apprehensions were like, civil services is very difficult examination every year, lakhs of aspirants fill the prelims form, and the selection is in few hundred. Then even after selection, which rank you will get, which service you will get, after service which cadre you will get, and then after cadre how will you balance your personal and professional life. And these all apprehensions came into the mind of my parents, more so maybe because I am a female. So but then when I repeatedly requested to them that please, I should appear in this examination once. Then my father agreed, and then they supported to the extent which they could. And he also suggested that I should have a plan B in life. So by plan B, he meant that if you don't clear civil services, because we all know civil services is altogether a different ball game. So he always had believed that girls, females should become financially and economically independent. So my father suggested, so I took his advice. So I completed my graduation in 2003. I completed my CS in 2004, June examinations I had given. In the same year, I appeared for LLB entrance and I cleared from Delhi University, and I got my admission into LLB course, which was a regular course. In the same year, I also started my part-time job as a company secretary, and I also started preparing for civil services. So from 2004 to 2007, these three things were moving parallel in my life. My focus was on civil services preparation. I was also doing my part-time job and also attending the LLB regular course classes. Right, so things were not easy. Lot of time management to be done. Then phases of low motivation was there, and I specifically remember when I appeared for my first attempt in 2006. I wrote prelims, I wrote mains, but I did not get an interview call. So not getting an interview call actually jolted me. It had too much of a negative impact on me. But then I recollected my own strength and I committed to myself that now whatever efforts I am giving in my next attempt, they should be my best effort, so that I should not have any repentance that I did not give my best. So, taking that into my courage and conviction, I gave the examination again, and by God's grace, by my hard work and the support of my family and parents, I cleared this examination. And the final results came in May 2008, and I got All India rank 13th. So that day is still very much in my memories, afresh in my memories. And after that, I joined my training at Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration, Mussoorie. And after my training, during my training, in fact, we were allocated cadres. I got Manipur Tripura cadre, and which was later on separated to Tripura. So that is how I worked in Tripura for around more than 7 8 years, and then I came to Haryana for I worked for 4 years. Now I'm back to Tripura. I am posted as resident commissioner. So this was like my journey of how I came into civil services, what inspired me, because I have always felt that the opportunity which civil services gave, it is still, I think, unparalleled in our country, and it gives you much more. You can do much more with your good intention, with your right spirit. So that has been my journey till now.
Very nice, ma'am. Thank you. And before we move on to the next question, guys, I want all of you to switch on your cameras. Please, अपना cameras को switch on करो, please. And ma'am, आपका next question. Among all your posts, which one gave you the most satisfaction?
I would say that there is no such thing that one post gave me a special satisfaction. No, I would not mention it like this. The only thing I would like to mention that starting from my first independent posting, which was way back in 2010, till till my present profile, every posting has given me different learning experience, different opportunities, different challenges, and different level of satisfaction. So my first posting in 2010 was as SDM Ambasa. That was a tribal dominated district, subdivision in Dhalai district, Tripura, wherein we used to even travel for kilometers together on foot to reach to the habitations which were quite remotely located. At that time, there was not proper road connectivity up to the habitation. Now, of course, the situation has improved a lot. So I'm talking about way back in 2009-10. So that was, and we used to tour the interior areas. I used to interact with the tribals. We could actually, with the help and support of paramilitary forces like BSF, which was stationed in the outpost area, we could mobilize the basic services which were not being delivered properly, like health, Anganwadi center, functioning of school, functioning of ration shops. So these were small things which give you satisfaction. And all across these years, there are few core areas in which I have always tried to work. So basically, they are like health, education, sports, women and child, and working for the youth. I have always, I have always liked to work in these areas, especially uh, uh, in addition to whatever profile I have held. And I've also got the opportunity to work in urban governance. I worked as commissioner in Agartala Municipal Council in 2012-13, and then I was also posted in Faridabad as commissioner, and also I was in Gurgaon. So I think as an IAS officer, and of course as DM and Collector Gomti District Tripura, as Deputy Commissioner Jhajjar District in Haryana, we got so many opportunities to implement the flagship programs of government. But friends, I would just like to mention one thing, that whichever position, whichever profile we hold, for an officer to ensure that governance, citizen centric governance, is meeting its end, it is very important to have that connect with the masses, to have that connect with the public. So that citizen public partnership, citizen public interface is very important for ensuring proper implementation of the schemes. So that is very important. And the next very important thing is team building, team leadership. Your team should move together. You should learn to delegate, and also you should guide, you should act as a leader. So these are things which have been very important. I have always tried to uh, keep track on them.
नाइस मैम, यस। अब बताइए मैम, आपको वेब वंडर वुमन का टाइटल कैसे मिला?
Actually, Web Wonder Woman was a felicitation which was given by Twitter India and Ministry of Women and Child Development in 2019. So that was the first of its kind, in which they had a mechanism in which they nominated women working across various fields. So somebody from a profession like doctor, engineer, social worker, somebody from administration, politics. So there were various categories, and in those categories, I was nominated amongst the 30 Web Wonder Women, basically to recognize and appreciate the work of women who were using social media. So therefore, they use the term Web Wonder. So the use of social media for bringing a positive change in the society. So I think that this award was given to me because of the reason that when I was posted as that time I was posted as Deputy Commissioner Jhajjar in Haryana. So we had actually used the platforms like Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and all such social media platform for not only disseminating and sharing the information to the public, also to take feedback from them and improvising. There were various campaigns which became success, uh, partly due to social media. I mean, the efforts in social media actually helped in accelerating and mobilizing the efforts which were being made in implementation of the flagship programs, because we were able to communicate, we were able to inform the citizens of the schemes, how they can avail benefits. So everything was very much transparent, and it was like administration at doorsteps. So that is how this Web Wonder Woman came, and they had actually felicitated 30 women across all fields in our country.
Great, great. Okay, ma'am. As a women officer, what are the obstacles you faced and how did you tackle them?
Actually, I would say that even today our society is facing from many issues, from patriarchal. India has predominantly be a patriarchal dominated mindset, right? So it is not only in services, but it is across all sectors. I feel whether he or she is a homemaker, or even, you know I mean, across all fields women face so many challenges. So when I talk about my own self, people also ask me whether I do face any inherent challenges, I have faced any prejudice or bias. So I would say that from a last, say, 13, 14 years of experience, that there is no such inherent bias against women, but yes, there are certain issues which I would rather mention as occupational hazards, which are revolving more around women than the men counterpart. And there is always a doubt of people around you doubting your capability, doubting your commitment, and the people will doubt the entire ecosystem around you in your ability and capability, capacity to work, right? So, and it also happens that, especially for lady officers, their sometimes career and family progression is not in tandem, and it rather moves in conflict. So for example, when you join service, uh, after a few years you get married, and these are the same years in which your family will also expand. You will become a mother, and in the same time, in the same years, initial years only, you will be getting posted to the field. So these challenges will keep coming, but I would also like to mention that women have been balancing all these responsibilities very well, and be it becoming an IAS officer, or be it being in corporate sector, be it in the teaching profession, women have all across proved their worth, and they have actually proved their mettle. So I think yes, women keep facing challenges, but it is the act of balance, it is the art of balance which matters. And I would also like to request the younger generation, younger people who is present here, that you also need to support each other. So all the male aspirants, male students who are attending this workshop, who are attending this section, you should also believe that you also have responsibility to ensure the gender parity in society. So these all things are very important, and once we all work collectively, definitely the situation is improving, and it will improve further in coming times. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, that is the change we all look forward to, and we want to bring that change.
Yeah.
Okay. What all changes you were able to bring in the society as an IAS officer?
I think I don't claim that I have been able to bring any change in the society as an IAS officer. I definitely will not say like this, but yes, I can mention that there were some initiatives which actually saw results in the field, which actually impacted the life of people where I was posted. So when I was in Ambassa, as I discussed earlier during my SDM ship, I we worked in remote areas, we traveled in remote areas. In fact, Ambassa became the first subdivision in the state to have a all women polling station way back in October 2010. In as DM and Collector Gomti district in Tripura, I undertook the initiative Nandini, which was basically focusing on initiatives under Beti Bachao Beti Padhao program as a convergence scheme for protection and promotion of welfare of girl, child, and women in the district. When I came to Haryana as Deputy Commissioner Jhajjar, we took initiative like Umang Ek Pehel, which was a convergence initiative between Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, National Rural Livelihood Mission, and WCT department, wherein the sanitary napkins which were produced by rural self-help group women, they were procured and they were being distributed to adolescent girls who were studying in government schools in the district, in the government school from class 9 onwards. We have n number of programs like this. We had some one program in in coordination with UNICEF India. And so, I mean, I would not say that I have been able to bring a change, but yes, our initiatives, small or big, through my initiatives and through the work of my team, through my team's, uh, you know, uh, effort, team spirit, we have been able to move at least some things in society, and I think this is the satisfaction which keeps all of us moving, right?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. आप बताइए आईएएस ऑफिसर होने का प्रॉस और कॉन्स क्या है?
आई थिंक IAS ऑफिसर और फॉर दैट मैटर सिविल सर्विसेज का प्रॉज positives, I would say that it has a charisma, it has a respect in the society. Even today we see the IIT IIM graduates, doctors, engineers, CACS professionals, they are coming to this service. So because of the respect it carries, also I would say that it gives an opportunity, it gives an unparalleled diverse opportunity to work for the people, to connect to the society, and to attempt to do something good. So, job security, job diversity, all these things are there, which are associated with being in the civil services. And challenges, of course, are like there is a lot of political interventions, frequent transfers. Then there is a dynamic paraphernalia in which you have judiciary, in which you have civil society organizations, NGOs, uh, public at large, which will impact your working. And now, of course, the social media, it is having a double-edged kind of an effort. So I think an IS officer or any other civil servant will have n number of opportunities, but हमें जो है, हमें जो काम करना है वो काम करते हुए आगे बढ़ना है. आई थिंक दैट इज मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट, दैट वी हैव टू कीप वर्किंग एंड कीप मूविंग. And there are situations where you don't find an answer like or a solution as to how you have to work, but whatever decision you take, you have to be morally upright and answerable to your own self. That if suppose tomorrow if somebody is asking you ki why did you take that decision, you should be able to morally stand on that decision, that this was the situation and this is the decision which I took. So all this, these are all part of service, these are all part of life, and as we move forward, we all try to learn, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. We went through one of the toughest times of our generation, that was COVID. So, can you talk about your days during the COVID times? Because we know you came up with some innovative solutions to manage the pandemic.
Of course, during COVID-19 pandemic, especially in the first and second wave, in the first wave, the issue was that nobody was primarily clear in the beginning time as to how we will be dealing with the situation. There were a lot many challenges, things were unclear, offices were shut down, even for government, because our staff was not able to travel because of lockdown. But we were supposed to attend office, or we were supposed to, continue working. So there was a shift from, we saw from physical to digital. Even our workings, online conferences were there. Our file movement started like uh, from physical to digital, and I mean there were lot many changes. But and at that time when the COVID first wave came in, I was posted in Gurugram. I was posted as additional CO GMDA, and I was also holding the charge of GMCBL, that was a city bus service. So in GMDA, we transformed the integrated command and control center into the war room, in which it was basically acting as a surveillance as well as information dissemination, also to support the other organization like municipal corporation, health department, food and civil supplies, police, etc. Also the city bus service of GMCBL. We shifted some buses and we converted them into mobile grocery shops for supplying ration to the RWS, to societies, essential commodities. So a few buses were used for transportation of patients, transportation of health workers, also to use as the mobile COVID-19 testing facility. So there were lot many innovations not only in Gurugram or Haryana, across the country. So COVID-19 pandemic has actually changed the way we have been looking at things. And I would also like to mention that as part of administration, we appreciated the definitely the work of health workers, the health administration, but we cannot ignore the role which was played by civil society organizations, public spirited individuals who helped the migrant workers by feeding them, who helped the laborers, and there were so many good activities, social conscience activities which were there. So I think COVID-19 pandemic has helped and has actually reoriented ourselves, has given us a lesson the way humanity has moved forward. I think it has made a sea change.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, our objective as lead IAS junior for the GDIS junior is that we want to, generate curiosity in students. At the same time, we want to develop certain skill sets such as, critical thinking, analytical thinking, communication skills, writing aptitude, everything. So this is very important to be a civil servant. So what is your opinion that at this age, the students, what is your opinion that they need to develop these skill set at this age?
Uh, for my dear students, I would just like to mention that एज ऑफ नाउ अभी स्कूल के टाइम में आपको बहुत ज़्यादा चिंता प्रेशर बिल्कुल नहीं लेना है. यू शुड नॉट feel burdened, because I can read in few of the chats that their parents or their relatives want that they should become IAS officer. So friends, you have a long career now. Abhi you are in school, then you will be in your graduation, you will be attending some college, and then you may go for higher studies. So it's a long journey. So it should not happen that is because civil services is a long drawn process, preparation is a long drawn process. It should not happen that you start too early and then you are not able to sustain the momentum when it is actually required. So for example, in my case, I to started preparation after my graduation. Right. So if you talk about say preparing when you are in school, you can definitely develop your critical analysis, your thinking, your power of assertion. For that, you can go through reading newspapers, you can read some magazines, you can have a knack of current affairs, general knowledge, and an overall aptitude that why is it that you want to join civil services. That should be very clear, that why is it, आपको क्यों करना है, what is the burning purpose or aim which is motivating you to join civil services. And then why, if you are able to answer why, then how will you do, आप कैसे करोगे, आपको कब करना है. राइट. सो दीज थिंग्स शुड बी देयर इन योर माइंड, नॉट दैट कि आप पूरा अभी से ही पूरा तैयारी करें, बिकॉज इट विल नॉट आई थिंक बेनिफिट मच. योर एंटायर करियर विल हैव लॉट मेनी अप्स एंड डाउन्स. इवन क्लास 10th में क्या स्कोर आएगा उसके अकॉर्डिंग यू विल गेट, यू विल बी ऑल्सो चूजिंग योर स्ट्रीम, you definitely depending upon your interest. Then after 12th you will have to choose your graduation stream. Even after graduation you may undertake a job or higher studies. So civil services, even if it's a prime aim, but I don't think that schooling is the right time to start full-fledged preparation. Yes, you can start with basic orientation of your GK, general knowledge, how you comprehend things, your power of critical thinking, your assertion, logical reasoning, aptitude. These are the things which I think one can try and develop. Right.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Finally, what message do you want to give to our young minds, to all of them here?
Friends, we all are aware of that India is one of the youngest country in the world, and we have got a very positive demographic dividend. And the age group population between 15 to 45 is highest in the world. So you are, the youth is the powerhouse of energy. You have the courage and enthusiasm to deal with all kind of situations. And I would like to mention here in one quote from Swami Vivekananda ji, wherein he said that my faith is in the younger generation, the modern generation, and out of them will come my co-workers. So he at that time he had encouraged the youth to come forward. He had instilled that confidence. And even today, if we see India's growth story, India cannot move ahead, India cannot transform, or India cannot prosper unless and until we have the youth which is leading the nation. We have seen how the youth have been performing in the field of science, sports, education, health. How we saw how so many sports stars have made India proud, not only at Tokyo 2020 Olympics, but also this year recently concluded Commonwealth Games. So I would encourage and request all of you, the youngsters here, to pursue their passion and pursue it with your own determination, conviction. Self belief is very important. So why? So what is it that you want? आपको क्या चाहिए? आपको कैसे करना है? Or when you are moving ahead in your life journey, so your self belief, self commitment, and discipline, these are very important. And I always tell students about me following 4 P's. 4 P's is an acronym which I use for passion, patience, perseverance and positive outlook. पैशन क्यों चाहिए, जुनून क्यों चाहिए कि वो चीज़ आपको अचीव करनी है. पेशेंस इसलिए ज़रूरी है कि वो आपको हो सकता है पहली बार में ना मिले. परसिवरेंस इसलिए आप ज़रूरी है कि आपको एफर्ट्स करते रहना है. एंड पॉजिटिव आउटलुक इसलिए ज़रूरी है कि माइंड में वो पॉजिटिविटी मेंटेन करके चलना है. So passion, patience, perseverance and positive outlook, these are very important. And as you grow in your life, not only in your school, in your college, in your higher studies, in your civil services preparation, we all need to keep all these things into mind. And then there's nothing in this world which you cannot achieve. ये हो सकता है कि आपको जो आप चाहते हो वो आपको फर्स्ट अटेम्प्ट में ना मिले, but then it may come to you in some other form, some other alternative. And if you don't clear civil services, friends, definitely whoever is giving 100% effort, definitely aspirants clear. But even if you don't clear civil services, do not be dejected, do not be demotivated. Things will come to you in some other form, through some other mechanism. So try and inculcate that. And in the end, I would like to just say to all of you that you all have that strength in your own self. Identify your strength and identify your weak areas, and dare to believe, dare to win, and dare to make a change. The youth only have this courage to believe, courage to win, and courage to make a change. So my best wishes to all of you. Thank you so much for having me over here. If there are any questions, I can take 2 or 3 questions.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. We'll go. What questions we can ask, ma'am? Okay. Quickly, you can come up with what questions you want to ask. Okay. Pushpanjali, please unmute yourself. We can't hear you.
Yes,
Go
ma'am.
on. Yes, go on. What question do you have? Okay, we'll go to Niyati. Yes, Niyati.
Ma'am, which books we have to read for become an IAS officer?
I'm sorry, I won't be able to answer this question. I'm really sorry. अभी बच्चे आप कौन सी क्लास में हो?
7th.
So it's too early for you to even ask for books. If you want, I can suggest that you should start studying newspaper or some magazine. Ask your parents to look for some good magazine which update you about current affairs. Very simple and basic one, not technical. And if you want, you can just read some NCRTs. But that also, I think in seventh, it is too early to start. I will not encourage.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, we'll have Arjun.
आप बेसिक पढ़ सकते हो, बट अभी इट्स टू अर्ली. आई थिंक यू शुड कंसंट्रेट. I would advise the parents also not to encourage students to start preparing at such a young age. I may appear harsh, but that is a fact. Because आप सोचिए कि ग्रेजुएशन ये बच्चा कब करेगा. ग्रेजुएशन करने में अभी इसके कम से कम 7-8 साल हैं. 7-8 साल के बाद ये एग्ज़ाम देंगे. तो इतना इतना क्या पढ़ाई का मोमेंटम सस्टेन कर पाएंगे. एंड उससे आप देखिए, आप कुछ भी पढ़ेंगे तो यू विल डेफिनेटली डिवोट योर टाइम. सो दैट टाइम यू आर डिवोटिंग फ्रॉम योर मेन स्टडी ना, जो आपको अपने क्लास 10th के अच्छे स्कोर के लिए चाहिए, उन मार्क्स के को आप somehow it may impact. So I mean, I don't encourage students to start too early in their school time. Even if you start, आप बस जीके पे ध्यान दीजिए, सिविक्स, हिस्ट्री, ज्योग्राफी, पॉलिटिकल साइंस, इन सब्जेक्ट के लिए एनसीईआरटीज पढ़ सकते हैं फ्रॉम क्लास 6 टू क्लास 12.
Okay. Okay. Arjun?
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, what types of question can be asked in interview, and what was the schedule of your training?
Training.
Yeah.
So the first part was,
What type of questions were asked in the interview, and what was your training schedule?
my interview was approximately around 35 minutes. It was, the chairman was DP Agarwal sir, who later on became the UPSC chairman. And I was asked various questions from my profession, from my background. One very important thing they asked me, because I had all my education etc in Delhi, and I have always stayed in Delhi only, worked there, education here. So they asked me, Ki, you have always been in Delhi NCR. So how do you visualize yourself working in a rural environment if you are posted as a sub-divisional magistrate or an ASP? How do you visualize yourself working in a rural environment? So all these kind of questions were asked to me, I think, but my interview was quite intense, I would say, almost 35 minutes, 35 to 40 minutes. And as far as training is concerned, so students, training is conducted by Lal Bahadur, for IAS officers is conducted by Lal Bahadur Shastri National Academy of Administration. The initial almost 1 year is at Masuri Academy, and that after 1 year is at the field, which is in the cadre in which you are allocated. And then you come again to Masuri for 2 to 3 months of phase two program. So this is how the training is of almost 2 years.
Okay. Aditya?
Ma'am, I want to ask, what is your role model? And in school days, what was your favorite subject?
In school days, my favorite subject was maths, and I also liked Sanskrit. Sanskrit I read till class 10th. I did my schooling from DAV Public School, Pushpanjali Enclave, Pitampura, Delhi. From 6th to 12th, I was in that school. Prior to that, I was in Ravindra Public School, Delhi. So my favorite subjects were maths and Sanskrit. And what was your first part? Sorry.
Ma'am, who was your role model?
Frankly, I did not have any role model. Even till today, I don't have any role model. But yes, I always derive inspiration from reading Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam's teaching. I had the opportunity of meeting the Honorable ex-President Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam ji once when he came to our college in Shriram College of Commerce. I had an opportunity to meet him. He was so humble, so dignified, so much loving and affectionate. And he is one personality whose books, whose poetry, whose teachings have actually kept on inspiring me even today.
Yes. Okay. Anushree?
Ma'am, what is your main motto? Like your first motto was to be an IAS. Is
Anushree,
there
you're
any,
not audible.
Voice is not clear.
ma'am? Is there any main motto right now? Do you have any?
Not able
We
to.
are not able to understand you, Anushree. Can you just put it in the chat box? Meanwhile, I'll go to the next person.
Maybe
Yeah.
we can just wind up with last two questions.
Yes. Sure, ma'am.
I have some
Yes, Daivik.
actually. Yeah, I'm sorry for
Sure,
that.
ma'am. Sure. No issues. No issues.
Uh-huh.
We'll just go with one last question and we can wind up.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, Daivik. Daivik?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes,
Hello.
please. जी प्लीज
He's
बताएं.
gone.
Ma'am, what is the salary of an IAS officer, and what should we do for to become an IAS officer? For to read magazines. Which type of magazines?
बेटे सैलरी तो आई
And
वोंट able to comment. Salary is like very minimal if we compare to the other sectors like corporate sector, private sector. उससे तो कंपैरिजन में सैलरी बहुत कम रहता है. But yes, of course, it is sufficient to sustain your family, to sustain your expenditure. Utna salary देती है government. And if you ask me about magazines, magazines are actually some current affair oriented magazines you can read, like Yojana, Kurukshetra. Yojana Kurukshetra basically released by the Department of Rural Development, Ministry of Rural Development, and also Yojana is by the Planning Commission, Niti Aayog. So these are good, and otherwise you can also read some current affairs magazine. So these magazines you can read, right?
Okay, ma'am. Okay, we have Anushri who has given a question. Is there any other motto that you have right now?
My motto always has been to serve the people, serve the society, do whatever best I can do. So my attempt of interacting with students across the country is only for the purpose that whatever I have learned, whatever experience I have gained, I want to share. कि मेरी बात से अगर किसी एक भी स्टूडेंट को कोई हेल्प मिले तो आई फील रियली हैप्पी एंड that is my way of giving back to the society. So my motto is still remains the same, and I think it should be for all of us. So my request in this case with you all is that whatever career profession you choose, please try and do contribute towards society, towards nation building, help people around you. वो कहते हैं ना कि खुद के लिए तो सब जीते हैं, लेकिन असली जिंदगी वही है जो दूसरों के लिए जिए, जो दूसरों के लिए कुछ करे. तो ये करना बहुत ज़्यादा आवश्यक है और इसमें हमें चूकना नहीं चाहिए.
Yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much. I need
Thank
to
you
move
so
on
much.
actually.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. We are so happy to have you. It was a very great session. Thank you so much, ma'am.
My
We
apologies.
look
I
forward.
was initially late. Actually, tomorrow there is some urgent program scheduled, so I got
No
stuck in my
issues.
office, and then there was a call regarding that only. So there was an interruption. So for my friends, there is two poetry lines which are not written by me, but I read 3-4 days back somewhere. So मैं आप सबके लिए reiterate कर रही हूँ कि हौसले बुलंद कर रास्तों पर चल दे, हौसले बुलंद कर रास्तों पे चल दे, तुझे तेरा मुकाम मिल जाएगा. हौसले बुलंद कर रास्तों पे चल दे, तुझे तेरा मुकाम मिल जाएगा. बढ़कर अकेला तू पहल कर देख, बढ़कर अकेला तू पहल कर देख, काफिला तेरे साथ खुद ब खुद बन जाएगा. तो बढ़कर अकेला तू चल पहल कर देख, तेरे साथ काफिला खुद ब खुद बन जाएगा. So you just have belief in yourself and you start giving your efforts, definitely you will get success. My best wishes to all of you. Thank you so much. May you all stay healthy, stay happy, stay blessed.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so very much.
Right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, guys, I know many of your questions are not answered. I hope we'll try to answer your question to the best extent possible. Okay, don't worry, we'll have many more officers who will be coming up, coming in, in the future classes. So that time you all will get a chance. Each one of you will be getting a chance. Okay. All right, guys. So see you for tomorrow. Have a great weekend. All right. Bye-bye.